You are now tuned into DAR Sports Media to continue with the NFL offseason draft grades. Aaron Rodgers, Aaron has signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers, giving them their starting quarterback. I'm not super sure if that moves the needle too much for me on this division, but we'll discuss that later on in the summer when we're doing divisional previews. It's certainly, a knock up in grade as far as what they had already, because you damn sure ain't going into the season with Mason Rudolph as your representation. So I think it's plumb ass fucking crazy that they didn't send a 6th round pick for Joe Milton to the Patriots. I think that would have been a great way to go. Now he's on he's on the Cowboys, right? Like, what the fuck was the point of that? But anyways, I feel like that would have been a better. But also I don't know. Pittsburgh just doesn't do shit like that. I don't know. They don't want to put a rookie out there. They don't want to put a high tools. I don't know. Fuck, like Tomlin, ain't you supposed to be some great fucking coach? Put a fucking toolsy young quarterback out there and fucking coach him. What the fuck is a coach's job? But to coach people, to teach them stuff. God damn. I don't know. The Steelers don't like to do stuff like that. They bring in don't get no much more veteran at this point. Is he the oldest starting quarterback in the league? He got to be the oldest starting quarterback in the league, Aaron Rodgers. It's interesting to me because there were flashes last year with the Jets. He had some good games. He also looked like a guy who was fucking over it for most of the year. I didn't watch too much of the Jets. I can't define if it was really on him or what the fuck happened with that team last year. I remember we kept coming to you every week for answers. Tay, what the fuck is going on with your New York Jets? It just, for the most, I don't know why it seemed like a team that just nobody really wanted to be there. It seemed like, I don't know. It seemed like nobody wanted to be the dog to do the things that needed to be done to get those wins. They just expected to show up with the names on their backs and for things to happen, and it didn't. That's why you do something like fire Robert Saleh fucking 3 weeks into the season. Like, why isn't things working? It must be somebody's fault. Like, I don't know. Look in the fucking mirror, man. I can tell you one thing. Mike Tomlin's not getting fired in week 4. So, Interesting addition to the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers. I'm not sure overall I don't know how much what this does for their ceiling, but like I said, I know it's damn sure better than going in there with Mason Rudolph. So brought in DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers. It's going to be an interesting combination there. Kenneth Gainwell, good depth in the backfield. They're going to need it because Najee Harris walked. Darius, I thought Darius Big Play Slay was going to retire this year. I guess he decided not to stay right there in Pennsylvania. I like their draft. I like Derek Harmon. Love Caleb Johnson. That's going to be a good sleeper draft pick, I think. Caleb Johnson with the Steelers. Dude was a mega producer at Iowa. He's going to fit. They did well in drafting Steeler mentality guys. Derek Harmon, Caleb Johnson, Jack Sawyer. If I've ever seen a damn Pittsburgh Steeler in my fucking life, Jack Sawyer is that guy, linebacker out of Ohio State. So love their draft. The other additions, maybe a little shaky. To me personally, I'm never excited to add a guy like DK Metcalf to my roster. And DK and Aaron Rodgers is going to be an interesting. Mike Tomlin, I don't know why you want to keep proving that you're God's strongest soldier. I just don't know. But it's going to be an interesting situation. I'm not sure if this takes them out of third place for me with the Ravens and the Bengals there. But it's better than marching in behind Mason Rudolph. Because arguably, I think that would have been last place. Because I think the Shedeur Sanders-led Cleveland Browns would even be better than them. But you tell me, Tay, what do you think of this move, Aaron Rodgers? What do you think of the rest of what the Steelers did in the offseason?
The Aaron Rodgers move. I mean, that was we all knew that was going to happen. We just needed the official news. Well, I mean, I'll say this: it kind of fits their timeline. But well, the Steelers they look to go to the Super Bowl every year. I'm pretty sure that's what they preach, like in the locker room and stuff. Like they're not trying to rebuild, they're not trying to retool. They don't ever want to waste a season, on anything. So I mean, it makes sense, if you feel like
it's weird though because then they end up being stuck and being what they are.
Yeah, no, that's
9 wins, 10 wins, no fucking chance in a first round playoff game.
Yeah,
forever in purgatory.
Yeah, it's not always a good thing, to do this because they haven't they'll never get like a young quarterback because their picks are just not going to be good enough for it. They're going to have
unless they get a gem.
Yeah, and that's how often does that happen? And since Big Ben, it's been pretty bad. They tried Kenny Pickett, they drafted him with their late first. You're gonna get that. That's how that situation is gonna go. And it's cool to win and all, but I don't know. You need a draft pick sometimes to kind of change the landscape of your team. And they're gonna forever sign these older quarterbacks on their fifth team. Just last stop. They're gonna keep doing that. They had Russell Wilson the year before. They're just gonna. This is gonna keep happening until the philosophy changes. And I mean, they have a winning mentality, so they're going for the Super Bowl every year, and they'll never make it. But
they'll never make it out of the first round. But
yeah, they'll never make it. But they have a good team. The defense, I know the defense is gonna be pretty good.
Yeah, adding Derek Harmon to an already strong defense.
Always good. But
Jack Sawyer. Yeah,
it's just always something missing with them. They just don't have that strong enough quarterback to just, get them over the edge, because they do have a championship defense. I could see them, they got everything you would want. Their corners are pretty good. Got one of the best pass rushers in the league. I mean, they're pretty good. Their defense is really good, but offense, I mean, you got DK, Calvin Austin. He's okay. More of a role-based kind of wide receiver. They drafted Roman Wilson last year and all that, but accusations. I like the Caleb Johnson pick though. That made a lot of sense.
Yeah, I love it.
That's definitely what they should have did. Kind of wondering why they didn't do Shador. I thought that was going to happen during the draft, but
it ended up being a nightmare scenario, man, because they're going to have to see him over and over.
That was their their one lucky pick. It was right there for them. Whether they think he's going to be good or not, you got to take a chance on that. Especially if he's still there in the fourth round. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense.
Yep.
Why would we? Why are you going to sign a 40-year-old quarterback? You could have did both. That makes a lot of sense. You could have did both. You could have kept trying to win now stuff that doesn't work. Win 8-9 games, cool, and then
you could have had Shador ready for next year.
Exactly, it would have made perfect sense. Well, maybe they were so hell bent on getting Aaron Rodgers that they weren't trying to draft the quarterback as caliber, I guess, to make him want to come to the team. But I don't know. The offseason was good though. They made improvements. Yeah. They definitely made improvements. They got better in almost every position except wide receiver. I think that was kind of marginal. DK for George Pickens was marginal, honestly. I know why they did it, but it really got the same player out of it. Just different.
They need
I guess
a Steeler is like a Terry McLaurin, who, by the way, might be on the market. They need a Terry McLaurin type guy, Curtis Samuel type guy. So who do you got as number one? Who do you guys number one for your AFC North offseason?
The Ravens.
Oh man, yeah. I know that's right. That's unbiased analysis right there.
Yeah,
Tay, which is nothing but bad for the Ravens, but
yeah, they had a really good offseason. The rich gets richer. I mean, Malachi Starks and
course.
Hamilton. I don't even need to see it. That's the best safety duo in the league. I don't even.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Like that right there. And yeah, you had a feeling that I was gonna have. They always do that. They get that premier guy in the draft. I don't know how he even got that far. And
it's
then
every single year we say this. I don't know how he got that far. The Ravens took him.
Worked out for him and everything. Like it never fails. So that was a really good pick for them. It just fits what the Ravens like to do. They love their safeties and stuff like that, as you can see. And then they get Mike Green. I don't know how I feel about that. He's a great player, but a lot of people, about the whole allegations and stuff like that, like they don't care, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
They don't really care about allegations. They just, they're more like football oriented. And I get that.
Yeah. The only allegation that they care about is people allege this motherfucker got 20 sacks last year.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't care about that. They believe that, they can mold them into like just a great person, after whatever happened.
And that was it was a position of need. I think Adafe Owe, I think he did better last year. But I think they still want to add that screamer off the edge.
They needed Mike Green bad. Like that was a slam dunk pick. They needed him bad. Like he wasn't going to he was mocked in the top 15. Like that's like
he was mocked to the 49ers. Yes, I saw
in the late second. Like there you go. Like there's the answers right there. And I mean, like they just re-signed Bateman to a nice team-friendly deal.
Yep.
I don't know how much impact D-Hop would have, but I mean it's something.
None. But he'll be there hopefully to help Bateman.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean,
you're gonna have to account for D-Hop, that's for sure. You ain't gonna be able to just leave him out there naked, so that's gonna open up things for other people. Make it so Mark Andrews can get nice and open and drop passes that are thrown right into his fucking chest. In the AFC playoffs. I agree. I like everything else too. Chidobe Awuzie, I like that addition into the secondary to continue to strengthen that area. What did we think? The Bengals, man, are interesting because, they got the job done with getting both Chase and T. Higgins back. But their two contract situations, I don't know how you can't. It's literally both it's the pass rusher that's holding out. And the pass rusher they drafted to replace him is also holding out because they can't decide on offset language. I just want to put something out there I guess we would have to rank this last just because of how much of a fucking clown show this is. They have the sack leader in the league. They haven't done nothing to work on his contract. I don't think people will love my opinion on that. But it's tough because, but trade the guy then. Trade him somewhere where somebody will give him a deal. I'm just saying not a lot of teams are giving a big money. You're a franchise merchant. You're not giving top 5 sack guy money to a 30-year-old. You're just not, man. And that's what he wants, and he wants a long-term deal. And he said he didn't want to set the market, so I don't know, but I just don't think you're giving 3 years, $28 million a year to somebody who's 30. I just don't think you are. Tay, are you ever doing that in your fucking Madden franchise? Please tell me.
He wouldn't even be on my team.
There you go. So, I mean, but that converts to real life too.
Yeah.
I understand both sides. Because he feels he's earned that deal, and I agree with him. He's been busting ass for years, but the year to do it was last year. And he said that he took them at their word when they said they were going to take care of him. That's where you fucked up, Ron. That's where you fucked up. Should have got the deal last year. 29, a 3-year deal to a 29-year-old just feels a lot different than a 3-year deal to a 30-year-old. But like I said, then trade the guy. Let him go somewhere where they do want to give him a bigger deal for that amount of years and have him be a cornerstone of the team as they rebuild or whatever the fuck's going on in this situation. Trade him to someone who wants to take care of him. The Shamar Stewart situation is even more stupid. They are still haggling over this offset language in the rookie deal. It is money, guaranteed money, that they would only have to pay him if they cut him before the end of his rookie deal, and it would equal 0.79% of the fucking salary cap. What the fuck are we doing here? What are you doing? Like, you're supposed to be a professional sports franchise, and you're fucking around like this over fucking peanuts, really is what it is. And you only have to pay it if you cut the guy before his rookie deal's over. How fucking often does that happen?
Right.
How often do teams cut somebody before their rookie deal is over? A first rounder. When does that happen? Unless it's like extreme situations like that tackle that the fucking Titans took some years ago. That's basically the only. It never happens, cutting someone before they. And even if you did, okay, it's less than 1% of the salary cap. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, so, you that Bengals front office, that Bengals ownership, man, they're like, they're falling over themselves to rush to destroy any goodwill that they earned by getting both T. Higgins and Jamar Chase back in the building quickly. By fucking around with Trey Hendrickson and fucking around with this offset language of Shamar Stewart. Bunch of nonsense, man. What do you think of the Bengals situation?
The Bengals, they're kind of like, I don't know. I don't think they know what direction they want to go. And like, I feel like they take a year too long to do everything. Like the whole Jamar Chase thing, he literally had to, like he wanted the money last year and whatnot, and it even went into the regular season like the first couple of weeks, and he was the best wide receiver last year. So I mean, the guys that are asking for the money are the team, and I don't know. Yep. I just don't understand. I don't understand what they're doing. Like, you got a top 5 quarterback. You got top 2 wide receiver. I mean, I don't know. Why not make it? The defense was horrible last year too.
Yeah, it's not like they're like, oh, we could lose you, Trey Hendrickson. I guess they figured, you know what? We got the sack king. We have the sack leader in the league, and we still sucked on defense. So fuck it. Why even pay him? Maybe that's what they think. Because they're like, we were last place even with you, so fuck it. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's the fucking thought process. Then trade the guy.
Yeah, I mean, because I don't know. The Bengals haven't been good at drafting. Or I'm not going to say that. They tried to. They got they drafted Myles Murphy a couple years ago. That didn't work. That didn't really do anything. He's not really in the rotation anymore. And I think they're afraid. They're just afraid to make a move on Trey Hendrickson because it's kind of tricky. You trade him, now you don't have a pass rush. It was already just him. You trade him, now you don't have a pass rush. You save some money, but then now you got to go out and find a new one. And they've already tried it once. They failed at it. And Shamar Stewart, I feel like he kind of has a ways to go. Like I don't think he's like.
That's another thing. That's another thing that I was. Of all the guys you were going to take, you picked the tools and development guy. He's going to be if you don't fucking get this Trey Hendrickson thing taken care of, he's going to be the only guy that anybody needs to block on that offensive line. So the tools and development guy ain't the guy you want in that situation.
Yeah. That's what they just don't know what they want to do, and they're in a dilemma. They take long every time, like to make their decisions and stuff like that. I don't know what they're doing. Like they got such a talented offense. Like you don't come across like an offense like this.
Yeah,
like, pretty often. Like
we're gonna end up looking at them like we looked at the Killer Bees.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How did it never happen? How'd they never pull one off?
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, this is
fucking like, around.
I don't get it. They've been trying to get a line for years. I feel like they're there. Like they're ready. This offense. I mean, Joe Burrow had the best season of his career. They're ready. Their offense is ready to go. But I mean, they're playing around. They're just throwing out another defense again, and that leads to missing the playoffs. And you can't miss the playoffs with such a talented offense like that. You know, I don't know what they're doing. Honestly, like I couldn't even tell you. Honestly.
So we already looked back on the page a few weeks, 4 or 5 weeks. We already waxed poetic about the Browns draft. Possibly 5 new starters out of that fucking draft between Mason Graham, defensive tackle, Carson Schwarzenegger, linebacker, Quinshawn Junkins at running back, Fannin at tight end, and then Shedeur Sanders at quarterback. They also got one of the best playmaking running backs in the draft as well, one of the best speed running backs to pair with Quinshawn Junkins. Just a tremendous job by them in the draft. Other thoughts? So people have laughed about the quarterback room, but it's like, I feel like, I don't know, that's just going to work itself out. They're like, oh, well, what's the plan? Oh, the fucking plan is they got no fucking quarterback. So whoever looks the best, they're going to play them. Like, the plan is they need to figure out a person to play quarterback for them, because I think Mr. Nasty Man is on his way out of the league, most likely. And he wasn't shit anyway. So I don't know. What else do you think about this offseason? They have a hard time making too many moves because that Watson deal is still dragging them down. I like the pickup of Devin Bush, Tevin Jenkins, trying to revitalize a guy who was a first-round pick, adding him to the offensive line. Incredible draft. They're going to need him. They ain't got shit in wide receiver outside of Jerry Jeudy, and I still don't consider that really being shit.
Yeah. The Browns, they did. I don't know. I didn't like the trade back in the drafts. I'm not gonna lie. I did not like that at all.
We already went through it.
Yeah,
but they ended up having a good draft.
Yeah, it was a good draft. A little questionable though, like double quarterbacks. I don't like that. Like, what's the point in that? Like, that seems forced. Like, I don't get that. They got 20 quarterbacks on the roster. I don't know. The Browns, they got better though. I like Harold Fannin, especially on this team where he can just be like a slot receiver.
Yeah,
like they're gonna play both Njoku and Harold Fannin. So I really like that move. A lot. That was a great draft pick. This is like the perfect team for him. I couldn't think of too many teams that could use him right. I think this is one of them.
They go out there in 21 personnel, too tight, and run the shit out of the ball with those 2 running backs.
They could, yeah.
Yeah.
Like they completely revamped their run game, after, Nick Chubb on his way out the door. Jerome Ford, he's all right, but they get Judkins and Dylan Sampson just for assurance. Like, I don't mind doubling down in positions. Like, I like that.
Well, especially they're 2 different type players. Judkins kind of a balance and power guy, and Sampson is explosive, take it to the house guy.
Yeah,
so just run those 2 into the ground until you figure out your rhythm at quarterback, and things could pick up.
Yeah, honestly, I don't mind. I don't mind the doubling down at running back. I don't like doubling down at quarterback though. It's just I don't know. Like,
the whole
it just, I know it's like context to that, but it's just a waste. Like, you could have got
the context. The context is it was a fucking shit show. That's the context. It fucking
got better somewhere else instead of doing that, because like one of those 2 guys, they're just not gonna play. Like, it's just a waste.
Yeah,
that's how you don't do that, but
to me, I don't know who makes more money between Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, but obviously you get rid of Watson, you keep both Gabriel and Shedeur, and then whichever one out of the 2, Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, makes less money, cut the other one, and then year 2, now you got to back up whoever out of those 3. I'm assuming it's going to be Shedeur. I said when we did the draft coverage, Dylan Gabriel is the perfect backup for Shedeur Sanders. If you had a team, if you were building a team, Dylan Gabriel is like the slightly less gifted version of Shedeur Sanders. So, and then in year 2, you just roll with those two and then add whoever else, a veteran for the third, Josh Johnson. That sounds like a good signing. It's always a good signing. Always a good day to bring in Josh Johnson for year 2 in that quarterback depth chart after you move on from the Deshaun. A disaster. What hasn't been a disaster is the output of DAR Sports Media. These past few weeks, we had an NBA Finals hoop pod up right now. Check it out. All the takes on the NBA Finals going on right now. Me and Tay did a review of the college football 26 video game trailer and all the initial information that came out about that game a few weeks back. So check that out when that happened. There'll be more to come on that. Maybe we'll do another one. People seem to like it. And then, of course, all of the other divisions, the off-season grades still rolling right now. It's the playoffs in the UFL. Check over on the United Football Media. We're doing coverage for the UFL playoffs over there, getting down to the nitty-gritty. Our local team here, where we're both at, the DC Defenders, making a drive into the playoffs. So make sure you check that out. We're here. We're there. Maybe in some other places coming up in the next few months. Who knows? And that is because the world of DAR never stops.